gentlemen, you're watching ECLECTICKA. I got it. I said it, almost. You're watching ECLECTICKA, Michael 7. Michael, we've got our man Drew, we've got CC, and we've got Charles. How you guys doing?
Today?
Look at that.
Flex the shirt.
You guys can't see most of it because of the angle of the camera, but whatever, I'm rocking it.
What's on your shirt today?
Black Panther. The new show.
Oh, yeah.
5 Sun, shout out. And
I got my
let's go.
out of Africa joint straight out of the streets of Harlem.
Look at that. I didn't even notice that. That's nice.
Thank you.
I'm feeling left out. I got a camo hat on. Is that?
just the plain white tee.
That's it, man.
Don't
That's
get the
good
special
enough, man. That's street enough.
Struggling today. Wow.
So,
okay.
What are we starting off with today? Because we got tons of news. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. So it's just a matter of choosing where we begin now.
Go for it.
Well, I think we should begin with Black Panther. Might as well, since you're all fired up.
That one? Okay, yeah. We were just discussing that before the show. As all of you have to know by now, the Black Panther teaser trailer, our first one dropped. It was Friday, right?
Yep.
Whenever they had the football game that I didn't pay any attention to.
That was kind of
I didn't watch one basketball game,
I
dude.
didn't care. But then the trailer dropped, and I'm just like, oh! But it was good. It was beyond good. It was great. No, it was beyond great. It was freaking awesome, and it just got everybody riled up in the span of like 24 hours. Garnered 10 million views. Love it, hate it, indifferent. So shout out to my little, mulatto elite kid who was just, the trailer was just meh. I'm like, okay, homie, great. Movie about Africans that, portrays them in a way that you haven't seen before yet in film. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
You see people of color portrayed in a way that we have never seen them portrayed before in film, just dropped. And you're just kind of, okay, mate. Okay. But at any rate, I loved it. What did you guys think?
I liked it. I like even sort of piggybacking on top of what you said as far as, even in the trailer they said it. It's all a front. Wakanda, you know what I mean? And then once you get in it, you see what's going on. Definitely a great trailer. And I said this with Wonder Woman, that it was going to be the surprise hit. Can I have a round of applause, please? I think Black Panther is just going to rip the box office. I really do. It's going to set some serious numbers, man. It really is.
Yes.
It
is.
It's the same thing as Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's an iconic character. Black Panther is supreme when it comes to these characters. And the movie's just going to set the box office ablaze, I believe. And its first trailer is on point with anything else that's been put out. And I can't wait to see what else they have to put out as far as the trailers.
I'm hoping, to kind of just give some fuel to that one. I'm hoping that Black Panther kind of sparks I hope Marvel's able to kind of capture lightning in a bottle twice with how they did with Iron Man. Because mind you, Iron Man was not an A-list character in any.
No, I'm an Iron Man fan, but you're right in a sense.
Yeah, so it's like they took a B, arguably C-list character. They gave him a really great film, and that just sparked this whole trend, this whole phenomena that we now have with the superhero films when it came to making them marketable and mainstream and all that fly stuff. I'm hoping that Black Panther kind of refuels that, because while Black Panther is an incredibly poignant, excellent character that has been slept on for so damn long, I hope that they're able to capture that same essence and make a film that's great, where it just kind of rekindles people's love of these films. And they're doing something different with it, I feel, with this one.
Right. I think even even going back to what you even said about Iron Man, even though it's a B-list character, when you go back and you look at the stories, it's a character that translates well from paper onto screen. You know what I mean? Especially when you have Robert Downey playing him. So Black Panther, the storyline is it's massive. It's massive. It's massive, and it can definitely be embellished and just hyped up and really make a great film. So
they're gonna, of course, change some things around. But what's cool about it is that Wakanda, just like the nation itself, it has just as much lore, if not more so, than the character itself.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
that is the beautiful part about it.
Yeah, the reason that I feel that they have so many characters coming out from the gate, because if you notice, this one has a lot more characters involved than Iron Man or Doctor Strange.
Yeah, dude. When you look at Iron Man, his villains, Whiplash, the Mandarin. When you
All
really
three
think
of them.
about, yeah,
All three of his villains. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It almost
Right.
means like he has to join with these other characters in order for him to get villains.
Right.
And if you look at Black Panther, he has a nice list, a
Yeah.
nice
I'm telling you,
environment.
I was watching the trailer and I got an eye for these things. Your boy doesn't miss anything. But I'm just like, I'm seeing M'Baku the Man-Ape. I'm seeing my Dora Milaje. I'm seeing my one girl, Lupita Nyong'o's gonna play the crazy one. I'm hoping that they have her go like dark over the course of this film, because Lupita Nyong'o in a villainous role where she's like psychologically unstable, that just kind of hot.
That she would do
I don't
a
know
great
why.
job. Yeah, she would do a fantastic job. Although my affinity for her will not want me to see her go down that path. But I think she would do a very good job if she did.
Yeah, and they got my other guy. I have to find out who this actress's name is, because she doesn't have it, like she had one role. And I'm sorry.
You talking about the girl who played Michonne?
No, not
She's in
Denai.
it too, yeah.
She was she showed up in the last oh my God, it was Civil War. She had one line: "Move or you will be moved."
Yeah.
Like, yo,
yeah,
can
she's
she
gonna
come back? Because I wanted to.
No, they need to put her in there. I thought she was going to be in it. Yeah, they
She
need.
is. She's the one who's standing next to him when they're looking at the dude in the interrogation room.
Yeah, she's right there, and I'm pretty sure she's in the fight scene too, where they're in. It looks like
in the red,
like a casino or something like that. Or
She
something.
like kicks that dude through the window or whatever out into the
She's fighting
casino.
with the lance. I don't know if Seb can bring that picture up where I put in a couple. But yeah, she's back. So we got Michelle, Denai Guerrero is in it. Lupita Nyong'o. The cast is awesome. But it's like I was saying before, Wakanda has such a rich history with so many different characters and so many different moving parts. It goes to the whole royal subterfuge deception thing where you have that one person who I think is going to be like you. I think it was you that said it, CC, where you think that he's going to Eric Killmonger is going to like the betrayer. And I'm thinking that's where they're going to go with it. He's going to be in cahoots with Andy Serkis's character, Ulysses Claw. Right. And that is going to make it into like this drama with like kingdoms and emissaries and all this other fly stuff involved. It could be a lot of fun. And just the history that I saw alone, they have a firm grasp on their world, because they're literally taking us to a different world with this one, I feel. They got the characters, they got the action sequences, and your boy Chadwick Boseman, he didn't have to have really a single role. And you're still just like, Black Panther, I'm in it.
Right. He ain't even hardly say anything in the trailer. Did he even say anything?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think that was just it was my dude Forrest Whitaker, because he's always the guy you have to have talking in the trailer.
Right. That ominous, wise black guy voice. But I do agree with you that this movie's going to do very well, and I'll tell you why. First of all, brilliant technique in releasing the trailer during the NBA Finals. I think that was a very good way of introducing the mainstream, particularly mainstream men, into who Black Panther is, who may have heard of him, but may not necessarily know about Wakanda and all that stuff. And the release date is in February, correct?
Yeah. I believe
so. It's during Black History Month, which is symbolic in itself. And it's going to be before the summer blockbuster season, so it's going to really kind of stand on its own in terms of like the action, summer blockbuster movies. So I think it'll really, really do well.
I'll have to look, because I have like a list of all the movies that I know are coming out that I have. I have to look at my list to see what's coming out for February. But I'm not seeing too much that'll be able to contest with it.
Nah, even if it was during the summer blockbuster season,
even the kind of like a note to the people out there. This is, it's not really African. And all the people that were like talking trash, even they're gonna show up. So I'm like, even people that are like standing in contention with it, they're still gonna go. The fans are gonna go. The comic book fans are definitely gonna go.
Right.
Like they're gonna. I don't know, man. It could very potentially be like one of their best, like biggest hits yet. So we've gone about it a minute.
They did a very good job of blending traditional, like tribal African culture with high tech, like ahead of its time kind of, civilization. Right. And it's really kind of indicative of like Africa as a whole, because people do have that drummed up narrative that Africa is like barren wasteland. There's just sheep
yeah.
and,
That's
you
not
know,
true.
and all types of other stuff when there really are like metropolis type areas throughout the continent. So I think that that's kind of cool how they did that, and kind of how they repurposed El Dorado and was like, yo, y'all was looking over here, but El Dorado's over here. So that's kind of cool.
I actually want to look that up in the comics and see if that was a thing, because I think that might have been the film just taking a liberty just to kind of give people a tangible reference to something else that's considered mystical and forbidden.
Like a focal point.
But yeah, like a focal point just to give people like a reference to this is like the city of El Dorado, but it was really just a fake and it was over here the whole time. That was clever. That was clever. So.
Well, even like just going on a little bit further, if you take a look at the Civil War, the last movie, that whole movie is basically centered right around Black Panther. They carried that movie.
Introduction to him.
Yeah,
kind
so
of like Batman and Superman with Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
it was a core introduction to him, really.
Yeah,
they even managed. This is what was clever about Civil War. Really thinking about it in retrospect, they crammed in his whole, not his whole origin story, but a good portion of his origin story got crammed into like a 10 to 15 minute span.
Yeah.
Right.
Civil War. He had his dad getting killed, which impelled him to don the mask.
Right.
His first initial enemy finds out that that's actually false, finds his real enemy, and then he has that whole call to heroism thing where he's just like, I can kill you, random Zolkovian dude, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you live. So that was clever. That was really clever.
I just hope that they're not getting Spider-Man syndrome with these trailers. I'm about tired of seeing the Spider-Man trailers. I think they're just starting to show a little bit too much. Anyway,
I don't even want to go into it. They've shown us like 8 trailers of Spider-Man. I feel like they've showed us half the movie already.
That's what I said, dude. I'm like,
they don't need to do that.
More. So I hope that, they don't go overboard with the trailers and just start showing, like you said, showing a whole effing movie. That drives me crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of
to see how long it's going to be. I would imagine it's probably going to be 2 hours.
2 hours, like on average. We'll see though. We'll see. But switching gears for another minute, I went and saw 2 movies this weekend. I went and took myself out twice, and I saw The Mummy. That was the Tom Cruise joint.
It was actually good.
I actually had fun with it. I wasn't expecting it to be like great or even really good. I was expecting it to be stupid, kind of fun. And I got just that and then some, because what they're doing is jumping on the whole, in the spirit of the whole franchise shared universe thing. This is what Universal's doing with all their old monster films. So you got Frankenstein.
So we're bringing like Dracula and all that stuff into
Dracula. This film, The Mummy, actually took its time and set up a lot of that stuff with this film. And they didn't do a terrible job at, coming out the gates. I know it came in like 3rd, something like that in the box office. It got trounced by Wonder Woman, but I was ready for that to happen already. That's nothing new. But it wasn't bad. Tom Cruise, you guys know I'm infamous for my not being a fan of Tom Cruise. His character arc, if you really can call it that, his character arc, he starts off as a selfish douchebag, which I'm like, yeah, I can see you as being a selfish douchebag.
That's
that very well.
And over the course of the film, he, without spoiling too much, doesn't really learn from the error of his ways, but he changes. The problem I have with the film is that you can't really mark when that change comes, because there's this other chick, what's her name? Annabelle, I want to say it's like Wallace. She plays the freaking character Jenny, who is just pretty much useless the whole movie. She's like a hieroglyphs expert, and she's like the romantic interest, I guess, of Tom Cruise. I was rolling in the theater because her character, man, just gets crapped on the entire time. And she is so devoted to Tom Cruise, who doesn't give a crap about her, dude. He you guys saw in the trailer when he throws her out of the plane with the parachute? Right? She remembers that. That's like a thing in the film. And then she's like all stuck on him because like, you did that for me. You sacrificed the last parachute so that I could survive. He's just like, I thought there was another parachute. So that's the reason I did that. There was a hilarious scene because, Tom Cruise, you always got to see him running from something, right? They're bailing. My girl, favorite part of the movie, Sophia Boutella's character is Princess Amunet, right? She's doing her thing. Okay. She's chasing them. Tom Cruise is, he bails on Jenny, right? Runs to the ambulance, gets in the thing. He peels out and she's running after the truck. And she's like, you were going to leave me. And he's just like, I don't want to talk. We can't talk about that right now. Don't worry about it. He craps on this girl the whole time. But for some reason, by the third act, she becomes like his raison d'etre and the reason that he does like the selfless act. I guess he felt bad, but overall it was okay. Favorite part of the movie was definitely the girl that played the mummy for sure. She, of course, again, not spoiling too much, she wants Tom Cruise for a pretty good reason. Again, I'm just like, of course, resident white guy, of course, is the bagel of all these chicks. So it's like, all right, that makes sense because your curse thing is kind of tied to him. So that was cool. A funny note, though, that I got to add is she's making all these little mummy minions, right? Mm-hmm. And the mummy minions have this, like, Haji kind of, like, jerky thing that they do when they walk. The whole movie, I'm sitting there trying not to sing Thriller in my head whenever I
like this.
I'm just like, oh, stop. Yeah, don't do it. It was a little distracting.
Oh, man.
It was still good. So, overall, and then another favorite part of the movie was Russell Crowe. He plays Dr. Henry Jekyll.
True.
And there's a teaser that he might actually end up being the main antagonist of this whole thing because he's Mr. Jekyll, or he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Right.
Mr. Hyde has ulterior motives. Okay. They're part basically this universe's shield, if you will, is Prodigium. And they research monsters, gods that like exist on Earth. They track them, they confine them, they get information on all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. He's one of the main dudes of Prodigium, but he's also Mr. Hyde, who I'm thinking is going to be the main antagonist. So they set up some really interesting stuff with this film. I'm definitely going to check out the other ones. So, but I definitely recommend people check that one out. It was fun. It was fun. Not the greatest thing ever, but it was fun.
See it this week.
Check it out. Check it out.
What was the other film? You said you had another one.
Oh, yes. Second movie I got, man. It Comes at Night. I had to give it a question mark out of 10 because I still don't know how quite I feel about this damn movie. It is a horror film in essence, but it's a really misleading horror film. Down to even the title. I'm just like, at the end of the movie, I'm just like, It Comes at Night. You guys kind of lied to us on that. Because it's really not the type of film that you think it is. It's well acted. Right. The cinematography is really good. The director, the people that created it, has a really good sense of tone. Okay. And some of the imagery itself, nothing will be happening, but you're just completely on edge and you're creeped out. Those were the good parts. And then I feel like as a film, it just kind of peters out at what should have been the second act. Like, again, I'm not spoiling anything, but it's like, I feel like it's a movie that has two acts and then it just kind of ends. And I'm like, wait, that's it? That's the end?
Yeah, dude, I find that with a lot of that genre of movies, man. It's like, I don't know, it starts out, it has some good parts, and it just starts to fizzle after a little bit, man. I don't know.
It's
a lot of those movies are like that.
It's like where you can tell where the budget stopped.
Right. We all ran out of money.
They made this on pennies, dude. Yeah, they straight up just like made it on pennies. And again, there's a good sense of atmosphere. The character motivation is mostly there. And they do a good setup. There's like a good build up for things, but then it just kind of just goes, it just ends just abruptly. And I'm like, all right, I suppose, but I need to think about it more. There's really good things in it. And I'm telling you, that title, do not be fooled by the title, guys. Do not walk in thinking that, oh my God, there's something out in the woods that's stalking. Because that's totally how they advertised it. When you watch the trailer, you're thinking that there's something out in the woods. It's like,
that's
all right,
what I thought.
Yeah. They even added in the ADR. If you watch the freaking trailer, it's just like, oh yeah, and one last rule, the most important rule, we never go out at night. He says we don't go out at night, but he's like, yeah, the most important rule is we never go out at night. That's not what he says because there's nothing out there that's really hunting them. Spoiler alert, whatever. But that pissed me off. I'm just like, you guys kind of lied on that one. It was bullcrap. But
even going back to that, when I saw the previews for this movie, I'm like, why would they even release a movie like that during big blockbuster season? Yeah, that seems like a movie you want in, off peak hours, man.
They were. Sorry, the critical acclaim for that one was real for this movie. If you go and watch some of the reviews, one of the greatest, the greatest horror film of 2017. First of all, no, absolutely not. It was a cool movie. It was an interesting movie.
Right.
Greatest horror film. Hell to the no. Absolutely not. So they were trying to fuel that one purely on just like critical acclaim.
Right.
And I can't even say word of mouth because everybody that I heard walking out of the theater was just kind of like, they didn't know how to feel about it. They were either pissed or they were confused. And I was,
that's not good, man.
Okay.
It seems like people like lately, especially with these indie films, like the more confusing and nuanced the plot is, the more like acclaim it gets. And that
it's like, I mean, I can't shoot them in the face for trying to like think outside the box and make a difference.
Right, right.
I applaud that.
Right.
But my thing is when you market something as one thing, you package it as like a suspense thriller horror thing where it's literally packaged as if there's something out there that's hunting them. Right? Which is why they have the whole emphasis on why we don't go out at night, right?
Right.
But it's something completely different. And then you're lording it as like one of this great thing, this great horror film. It's suspense. It's not a horror film. So why did you lie like that?
Yeah, there is a difference between that too.
Yeah, it's a good thriller, psychological thriller horror. Fine.
Right.
Because you're not lying at that point. But
Wow.
Not bad, just not what it presents to be. Kind of fugazi like that, but it's so far from that with eye.
Yeah,
trying to play the game on us.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
So it's usually hit or miss.
So what do we got this week?
Seeing Aliens?
No.
Yeah.
I heard it was.
I didn't like that thing. They should have called that thing Prometheus. I'm just saying.
Yeah, as in like a well thought out, actually well paced movie, not just there's a bunch of chest bursters coming out of everybody's chest for,
I didn't. They should have left that alone as far as I'm concerned.
Covenant was fine.
It wasn't. Save your money.
Covenant was fine. It was.
Don't go see it, y'all.
If you actually
Drew reimbursing your money, man.
That they set up in Prometheus.
We talk about this Ragnarok trailer though. Did I say it right?
Ragnarok was
Thor.
Ragnarok was chill. It's Marvel kind of taking their formula and then just adding crossover characters to it. I guess they kind of get it now because instead of giving everyone like 3 movies each, it's like we'll make their origin movie and then we'll just kind of like pepper in the sequels with other characters, which might be the smart route to go because not every character can sustain a trilogy.
True.
So I think that's better. The Hulk especially. You can tell the Hulk story one good time.
Right.
Then after that, you kind of just got to let him float around because he's like a berserker. You can't tell compelling stories with just a berserker unless it's Berserk anime, which is amazing.
Right.
But yeah.
Do you think that Black Panther will get a trilogy? I know it's kind of calling it kind of early, but or at least a sequel. Hands down, yes.
Yep, because everybody. Well, I can't say everybody black, but half of the black people in the world under the age of 50 are going to see that movie.
Right.
So like this is the thing. I mean, even if it sucks, they're still going to make $100 million. And they know that. So they don't mind spending the money for the star power. But again, I really feel that's going to hurt the movie. I think if anything, that would hurt.
The star power is going to hurt the movie.
Yeah, because they're casting. Because some of the choices they already picked. I mean, some of the choices are just kind of like, why? Like it made no sense.
No, sorry. Wow, I'm just disagreeing with everybody tonight. Okay, so when it comes to their casting choices, I know exactly why they did that because one, when it comes to we're gonna pepper this world with people who folks are gonna gravitate to, right? The only reason people went to go see The Mummy was because Tom Cruise's freaking name was strapped on it. Same thing is gonna have to be done with this movie of its type, which again, like I said before, is bringing elements to not just the superhero genre, but the film genre period that we haven't seen before. They're taking a chance with this.
Right.
If you have a bunch of no-names in a African-based sci-fi action-adventure movie that no one knows, who's going to go?
Right.
Which demographic is going to support that whole ship? Okay?
Right.
It's kind of hard to find its audience. So what do? We have Forrest Whitaker. We have Angela Bassett. We have Michael B. Jordan. We have all these other people that you're familiar with that okay, these people garner an audience, okay?
Right.
So after that, it becomes a matter of, okay, who else can we add into the mix to further fuel this ship with this brand, like I don't want to say brand new genre, but with this untempered element that we've added to our franchise. So they're going to just keep adding people to it. And if they get further along, if they get to 3 movies,
Right.
They
They're
could
gonna keep
use.
adding.
They're gonna use people that are more like in the. I hate leveling actors. Like I hate saying A-list, B-list actors because I think that's a stupid thing. But you could use actors who are lesser known that are, oh my gosh, like people from Dear White People, right? The series. Okay, great actors, great cast all around. People that you know they're just at the cusp of being considered like notable actors in the film world. That could be their breakout role, and added with all these other A-list actors that we know and we love, them acting alongside those people, that's just going to solidify that. And again, you're adding new people to the mix, you have old people to the mix, and then it's something that you can just keep, kind of like going with, you know? So in this case, I'm going to let it slide. They needed all those notable people.
I don't think they needed all those people.
I think they did.
I did.
I mean,
if you look at Wonder Woman, I'm going to bring up Wonder Woman. People were even asking, who's Gal Gadot? I'm like the one from Fast and Furious. Like, how?
But even
that's
then,
her.
her
people even
co-star
know.
is pretty well known, though.
Yeah, but she's the star of the movie, and people were still questioning who she was. That's people that I even talked to, and I was like, looking at the previews, she's an icon of a character. That movie's going to push itself. And Black Panther they've been waiting on this movie for years. So I don't think they I don't think they needed all this star-studded cast.
But you gotta also think too, the mainstream population, like these aren't all household names. Like, yeah, to us, we know who these people are because we watch those shows. But if you're just like a regular Joe Schmo, you're not necessarily like a geek or eclectic. The only people's names you really know are Michael B. Jordan, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, and then maybe like, Lupita Nyong'o, obviously, and then maybe like Denai. If you like watch, because Walking Dead is like one of the more popular ones, but nobody knows all these other people.
That's what I'm saying. And based on that, you guys are really going to sit there and tell me if we had a bunch of no-name people and Chadwick Boseman, that outside of the comic book world, people are going to show up and support it.
Because it says Black Panther. The title
you guys,
alone.
you give the average Joe entirely too much credit.
No, because I think that if they didn't have at least a couple of A-listers, then a significant sect of Black people would have been complaining that the movie would have been getting shortchanged. So I think that they had to add at least a few A-listers.
People are going to say what they're going to say regardless. That's just how it is.
Oh yeah, they definitely they're saying it now. Like,
they're saying it now.
They're saying what they're gonna say right now. But they have a solid cast backing them up. It's shot at the very least. It's shot competently. I haven't seen the film yet, but the images that I've seen are great. And if you add that with people who you look at and be like, I totally know who that actor is. I totally know who that actress is. It's the nail to make sure that you go. You couldn't do that if you had just a bunch of people that nobody recognized.
Well,
I think the nail that hung this painting on the wall is when Black Panther came in the Civil War and did what he did. To me, that solidified his character right there.
That didn't.
Right.
That all right.
That solidified
introduced his character. It didn't guarantee that people were going to go and see a solo movie.
All right, hold on. We're gonna.
I believe it would.
Yeah, because we're going over time, but we did say this in past episodes also that we are to the point where it's a little different. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do a short little 10-minute overtime on this one. So
OT.
OT, baby.
OT.